Thank you for coming to this presentation on the empowerment impacts of a nutrition and gender-sensitive agricultural program in Bangladesh. This joint work with Akhtar Ahmed, John Harinat, Audrey Pereira, and Shalini Roy, and is part of GAP2, which is supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, USAID, and the CGIAR Research Program on Agriculture for Nutrition and Health, or A4NH. Although a lot of projects aim to empower women, very few projects are actually evaluated for their empowerment impact. There are many reasons behind this. Most projects lack a framework to distinguish whether they reach, benefit, or empower women. Projects often implement bundled strategies, so it's difficult to tease out separate impacts. Until recently, no internationally validated measure of women's empowerment existed that could be used in impact evaluations. And finally, most studies collect data only on women, so we can't assess impacts on gender equality or on men's attitudes. We conduct a clustered randomized trial to assess the impact of the Agriculture, Nutrition, and Gender Linkages ANGEL pilot project in Bangladesh. The treatment arms provided agricultural training, nutrition behavior change communication, BCC, and gender sensitization trainings to husbands and wives. These trainings were given to husbands and wives together. They attended the sessions together. The treatments are additive, so you can distinguish the separate effects of the different types of trainings. And in this evaluation, we use pro-WEAI, and we also include questions designed to elicit the attitudes regarding gender norms from both husbands and wives. So let's talk a little bit about the evaluation design. The government of Bangladesh implemented a clustered randomized control trial at scale. There were 5 treatment arms and 1 control arm. The treatments were TN1, which was nutrition BCC, delivered by agricultural extension agents, or AEAs. TN2 was nutrition BCC, delivered by trained community women. TA was agricultural production training, delivered by AEAs. TAN was agriculture plus nutrition, also delivered by AEAs, and TANG was agriculture plus nutrition plus gender, delivered by AEAs and project facilitators hired by Helen Keller International. And of course, there was a control arm. Because we're interested in the scale-up, in this particular paper, we focus on the nutrition treatment arm using agricultural extension agents. The government of Bangladesh would be scaling up using its extension staff. Our outcome variables come from the pro-WEAI. These are the empowerment score, or 3DE, whether the person is empowered, which is binary, and whether the household achieves gender parity, which is also binary. And this was collected from both men and women. The empowerment score and the whether empowered were collected from both male and female respondents. We also drew from the gender sensitization curriculum, which is based on Helen Keller International's Nurturing Connections curriculum. We made a list of statements based on that curriculum and asked both the male and female respondents whether they agreed or disagreed with them on a range of 1 to 5. Some statements were reverse coded and higher scores were better. So summing all of the answers, this resulted in a gender attitude score that ranged from 1 to 45. Implementers of agricultural development projects are also concerned about unintended consequences. So we look at outcomes related to workload and internet partner violence, or IPV. The workload is taken from a 24-hour recall module in the pro-WEAI and is computed as the time spent in the primary activity plus 1/2 of the time in childcare if it was being done simultaneously. The IPV questions come from the WHO Violence Against Women instrument and looks at 2 types of IPV, emotional and physical. We then estimate the impact of each treatment relative to the control arm and also test whether impacts differ across the treatment arms. So let's now take a look at the results. First, we find that all treatments have significant impacts on women's empowerment score. Only the treatment arm with nutrition significantly and positively affects men's empowerment scores. All treatments significantly increase the likelihood of women being empowered, but only the treatment arm with nutrition BCC significantly empowers men. This might be because men are learning about a domain that they were previously not included, nutrition. The agriculture nutrition and the agriculture nutrition gender treatments have statistically significant impacts on the likelihood that the household achieves gender parity. In terms of a gender attitude score, agriculture nutrition and agriculture nutrition gender had significant impacts on women's scores. All treatments except the agriculture treatment alone were significant for men. To our great relief, none of the treatment arms had a statistically significant impact on workload. All of these coefficients are not significantly different from zero. The program also had no significant impact on the likelihood of experiencing IPV in the last 6 months. However, there was a weekly significant increase in the frequency of IPV in the gender sensitization arm. We don't know whether it is an actual increase or a change in the perception of what is acceptable. Having participated in gender sensitization training, women may be more aware of what isn't acceptable behavior that they may have tolerated in the past. To summarize, Angel increased both men's and women's empowerment, raised the prevalence of households achieving gender parity, improved the gender attitudes of both women and men. It empowered women without disempowering men, and the nutrition treatment in fact increased both men's scores and empowerment status. There were no unintended impacts on workloads. The evidence on IPV is inconclusive, but suggests that this is an area to watch. It should always be an area to watch because you want to know whether there's backlash. There are also insignificant differences across treatment arms, and we wonder, could it be because the trainings were given jointly to husbands and wives, and they could talk about it together? To quote two program participants, after training, taking a joint decision is easier, it's better than before. Now we take decisions together and we can avoid any confusion or complexities, says a wife. As we both attended Angel training, we both know that taking decisions together is good. After participating in Angel, my wife could take the right decision, and sometimes the husband's decision is wrong. This training modality was quite innovative in Bangladesh. Could training men and women together be key to improving the empowerment impact of agricultural development projects? To learn more, please visit the IFPRI Resource Center, and this paper is also open access and downloadable from World Development. Thank you very much.